A key priority for most, if not all, businesses is figuring out how to develop the skills of their leaders within their organization. Most organizations have a competency model that they're building off of, around cultural competency, some other soft skills, some hard business skills. There may be other different things that make up that competency model. And good leaders are always trying to see gaps in their people with respect to that model. Now, sometimes it's explicitly stated in a leadership competency model that business acumen itself is a core competency of a leader within their organization. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes it might be hidden in there. But learning how to see that you have gaps in business acumen within your leadership ranks is a really crucial skill that your organization is going to need in order to stay competitive, win, and grow as you move forward. Because it's the people who are leading your organization making decisions that are going to dictate the overarching results of the organization. So when we think about business acumen, a simple definition that we use here at Acumen Learning is the understanding how your business makes money and making good decisions around the money-making process. How do you see whether people in your organization understand how you make money and are making good decisions around the money-making process? Well, there's a few different ways that you could identify that gap. The first one is, what is your team's ability to make or think through strategic level decisions? Are they able to think strategically in a way that aligns to the business's overarching goals? Or are they proposing plans and projects and other ideas that really don't align to what our true goals are? If that alignment's not there, that means they don't see how what they do aligns to the goals of the business, and they don't fully understand how you make money or how to make good decisions around that process, because the strategy is going to be off. So if you see misalignment in terms of strategy amongst your people, that's one point of evidence that there may be a gap in business acumen that needs to be closed. Another one is turnover and retention. So employees or leaders that feel stuck or out of place or misaligned, like I mentioned before, typically grow in dissatisfaction over time and try to search out an environment where they can feel that alignment and feel like what they're doing is making a difference. So if people are leaving your organization at a higher rate than perhaps you were expecting, it could be an indicator that people are not able to connect what they do each day to the overarching goals and priorities of the business. And that simply draws to a lack of understanding about how to make that connection. And business acumen is all about making that connection. So we can see it in how we make strategic decisions. We can see it in how our retention is like within our leadership. And a real specific example, if you're looking for like core behaviors that might illustrate a gap in business acumen, just ask yourself how your annual or quarterly budgeting process goes. Like when people step into their meetings with finance and they're proposing a budget, do the numbers make sense? Do their projections cover their costs? Are they asking for cost increase that are reasonable, or are they just kind of saying, well, last year we did X, let's do X times, with a 5% increase and just kind of slap a number on there and see what happens? If there's no rigor, if there's no depth, there's no good thought behind the budgeting process, or if the numbers don't make sense at all in terms of a budget that could be profitable in the long run or is aligned to the organization's strategic priorities, then that's a real easy, clean example that you've got gaps in business acumen. And it's very simple in terms of how we close that gap. First, you see it. You have some evidence that suggests we have a gap. And then from there, it's bringing in the right partners and figuring out how to develop that competency within your organization. And how we do that at Acumen Learning is we teach a simple framework called the 5 drivers that demonstrate what 5 areas all businesses need to focus on. We do that in the context of your organization through your strategy. And we help people make the connection between, this is what I'm doing every day as a marketing leader or as an IT leader or a clinical leader or an engineering leader, whatever that may be, to the C-suite level, shareholder level priorities and strategies. And by drawing those connections, they're going to come back more able to budget. They're going to be able to propose more strategically aligned projects. They're going to be able to speak the language of this stuff and ultimately see how what they do connects, drive higher retention and better business results for you. So it's kind of nerve-wracking to admit that you have a problem, right? Like, oh, our leaders are all fantastic. Everybody gets this stuff really well. But if we go out and look for it and really have an eye towards trying to find evidence of how well, or if gaps exist with respect to business acumen, you will be able to see those things and pick them out. And learning how to see them is the first step in deciding whether to take action.